Travel robot presence. Top 10 things to do in El Salvador. Let's get down to business. I will also provide you with a suggested route that will cover all the top things to do in El Salvador, as well as a few final travel tips. Number 1. Hiking the Santa Ana volcano. This was probably my favorite thing to do in El Salvador. The Santa Ana volcano is known for its stunning blue/green crater lake that's in the middle of the crater once you reach the top. It's located within the Cerro Verde National Park. This is one of the top tourist attractions in El Salvador. I've written about my experience climbing the Santa Ana volcano and how you can visit without a guide. Number 2. Take a coffee plantation tour. El Salvador is a coffee region of the world, and they really do produce some amazing coffee. I am a coffee fanatic, so I was actually very excited to come to Central America in general to taste all the amazing coffees. The coffee of El Salvador is my second favorite in the region. Nicaragua has to be first. You should take a coffee plantation tour and learn about how the coffee is made and, of course, brew your own cup. If I had to look back, I'd say that there is one clear point marking a before and after in my coffee journey. You could call it a point of no return. I have loved coffee for most of my adult life, but it wasn't until I went to a coffee farm for the first time that I started to respect the cherry. When you're a coffee drinker in a Western country, most likely you'll only encounter coffee in a highly processed state. Many people never understand that coffee is a fruit. When you get to the coffee plantation for the first time, this will become abundantly clear. If you love nature and you consider yourself a real coffee snob, there's no better way to spend a holiday than going to the origin. Here are my best tips and tricks to plan your coffee origin trip. Number 3. Visit the Mayan ruins of Tizumel and Joya de Seren. So everywhere in Central America has its own batch of Mayan ruins, and El Salvador is no different. Now, I'll be upfront and say we didn't visit the Mayan ruins. We planned to, but I'd already seen about 5 sets and the capital of the Mayan world, Tikal, and just didn't feel like seeing any more. But if you want Mayan ruins that are completely uncrowded, as in you could be the only ones there, then you will love the ruins in El Salvador. They're easy to reach from Santa Ana via chicken bus, and when I did my research, I used this guy's blog post to plan, so I've linked it for your convenience. You'll see there are actually quite a few to be seen, and I think it's a great opportunity to experience some ruins with the crowds. Number 4. Visit the Santa Ana Cathedral. If you're doing the Santa Ana volcano hike, you should stay in Santa Ana. It's the second biggest city in El Salvador, after San Salvador, and it's actually quite cute. There is a lovely square that's got a great pizza restaurant and the beautiful Santa Ana Cathedral. It's definitely worth a visit if you are in the area. Number 5. Surf at El Tunco. El Salvador is home to some of the best surfing in the world, and it's got something for beginners and pros. Head to the beaches of El Tunco and El Sunzel for an amazing time surfing. It's about $20 for a lesson and day board rental. El Tunco itself is also a backpacker hub, so it's got lots of great restaurants and bars. The weekend is when this place really comes to life with fantastic parties and live music. We stayed in a place called the Casa de Mar Hotel, which was right on the beachfront and had the best surf break in the area literally in front of it. The beaches are the most touristy part of El Salvador, so if for some reason you are really concerned about safety, then this is one of the safe places to visit in El Salvador. It's definitely worth a visit if you are in the area. There is a lovely square that's got a great pizza restaurant and the beautiful Santa Ana Cathedral. It's definitely worth a visit if you are in the area. Peace. I suggest El Tunco because it's where we went, but there are plenty of other beautiful beaches in El Salvador, including the Libertad, Costa del Sol, and much more. Number 6. Visit the waterfalls of El Salvador. There are a variety of waterfalls in El Salvador that are worth visiting, and I love waterfalls, so that's why they've made it on my list of top things to do in El Salvador. The Tamanique waterfalls are often a day trips from El Tunco and can be organized via a tour, or you can rent a moped for the day and visit them yourself. It's a 30-minute hike, but you can swim in the waterfalls, which makes it worth the trip. Then there is the 7 waterfall hike, which is for those who love chasing waterfalls and hiking. One of them is located in Juayua, and the other one is in the National Park El Impossible. Juayua is the base for visiting the waterfalls, and you'll literally visit 7 waterfalls, all stunning, but you will be accessing some of them via rope, so just be careful. We didn't visit waterfalls in El Salvador, because it kind of takes a lot to impress us waterfall-wise nowadays. We've seen Elote, but actually I regret not visiting some of the waterfalls in El Salvador. Number 7. Visit the Ruta de Flores. The Ruta de las Flores is a winding route of about 20 miles that goes through coffee plantations and brightly colored colonial towns and colonial architecture. The 5 main towns on the Ruta de las Flores are Salcoetitan, Nahuazalco, Apanica, Ataco, and Juayua. You can get buses from each place, and there are a variety of hotels and hostels along the way. If you want to see the true natural beauty of El Salvador, then this is the place to be. If you've only got time to visit one small town, then make it Juayua. It's definitely one of the best places to visit in El Salvador. Number 8. Go shopping in the capital. San Salvador is actually quite commercialized, and it's home to the biggest shopping mall in all of Central America. So if you've got some spare cash or need some new clothes, then hit the mall and shop until you drop. They also have some cool arcade shops and cinemas, so you can literally chill and have a touristy day. One of the fun things to do in El Salvador, and if you're thinking of things to buy in El Salvador as a present, then bring coffee home. Number 9. Visit the San Salvador volcano. The San Salvador volcano is located in the El Boquerón National Park. You can visit the peak by heading to the park via a 15 to 20-minute hike upwards. You'll get to see a crater, which is fairly green, and it's probably not the type of crater you're picturing in your mind. But it's easy to hop in an Uber to the entrance and walk up. It's got beautiful views of the city, and it's definitely one of the top things to do in San Salvador. Number 10. Explore Lake Ilopango. This is another one of the great things to do in El Salvador. Actually, this lake is more like a beach. I say that because it's got little beaches around it, and the locals all flock there like it's the beach. There are lots of restaurants to dine by lake, and you can rent a boat and have a romantic boat ride on the lake too. The lake is located east of San Salvador, and it's a really cool place to explore for the day, and you can get there and back via Uber for around $8, which isn't bad. There is also a random little water park by the lake too, which I think is mainly for kids, but if you've got children, then this is a pretty good place to take them. If you love similar content like this, take a look at my other videos. And if you like it, please smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. If you have further questions, feel free to comment down below. See you in the next video.